Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to do my 1500 subscriber Q&A. So first off, I want to start the video by saying thank you to everybody that submitted some questions, and whether it was on YouTube or on Twitter. And now I'm gonna go through all of those questions and I'll show them here at the same time, but like you'll see me going back and forth, and I will answer them to the best of my abilities. Also, thank you to all you guys that got me to 1500 subscribers. I think that's so awesome and I'm so thankful for your support. So thanks. Okay, so I'm going to start off with the questions that were submitted through YouTube, and then I'll switch over to the Twitter questions once I get through those ones. So the first question I have is favorite booktubers. I have a lot of favorite booktubers that I like to watch, but there are 4 specifically that I'm like always watching their videos every time they put one out. Those are Snow White Reader, Tammy Tries to Read, Brightness Katie Reads, and Connor O'Brien. Favorite form of social media? I would probably have to say YouTube, obviously, because I'm on this platform and I really enjoy it. But second would be Twitter. I spend a lot of time on Twitter when really I should be reading, and I see a lot of other people on Twitter that are saying the same thing, where they're trying to read but then all of a sudden they're on Twitter again, and I totally understand those feelings. Any books you can't stand, more points if they have hype. That book would be All the Light You Cannot See. This was a historical fiction one, and it was split between 2 different perspectives, and I just found it so boring. I know a lot of people really like this book, but I could not get into it. I did. I read the whole book because I don't really DNF very often, but man, I just felt like I wasted my time. And I'm sorry if that offends anybody. I'm just not a historical fiction kind of person, and I tried it and I didn't really enjoy it. That being said, I'm still trying historical fiction books. That was just one that I did not enjoy. Okay, so this person submitted a bunch of questions, so I'm just going to try and answer them all pretty rapid fire. What are your favorite books featuring LGBT topics or characters? For this one I put Simon versus the Homo Sapiens Agenda. I feel like that's a pretty obvious one. I also would say Release by Patrick Ness. Those 2 I really enjoyed. Also, Red, White, and Royal Blue. It's a great book. Those are what I would choose for that. Then we have How Long Have You Been with Marcus? And we've been together almost 3 years now. How many books do you own, roughly? Well, with the 2 of us together, we actually counted these the other day. It's around 750 that the 2 of us have together. So that's pretty cool. We're definitely starting our own little library here. How do you acquire most of your books? Do you buy them new, used, or do you ever use the library? For me, I tend to buy them new or used. We have a used bookstore that we go to quite often, and we find some pretty awesome gems when we're there. But I also do really enjoy going to Chapters, which is our like big bookstore in Canada. And I frequent their like bargain rack because they have it sectioned in different genres, so you can like find books in the genre that you enjoy for really cheap prices, which is really cool. So I like doing that. I also just like walking around in Chapters. It's just such a nice store, so I just enjoy the atmosphere. I also get a lot of books for free because of my blog, so I get them that way as well. And I also occasionally get ARC copies from HarperCollins or Penguin Random House. So I try not to buy as many books lately because I don't want to spend money that I don't have to. But yeah, that's like how I get them when I do. This one's funny. No idea how old you are, but what do you want to do for a living, or what is your dream job? Well, currently I'm working as a web developer and I'm 27. I would love to work in a publishing house, and I think that'd be really cool because you'd be surrounded by books all the time and you get to pre-read books that are going to be potentially put onto shelves. I think that whole like scene in general is a cool place to be, so I think that would be really cool. And like booktubing would be a cool job as well, but got a whiles to go there for that one. What is the first book that you remember reading? That would have to be one of the Magic Treehouse books. I believe it was the first one, probably, because I don't think I would start in the middle of a series. Even as a child, I was very like meticulous about that kind of thing, so yeah. Is there a specific book that got you into reading? I would have to say not a like specific book, but a specific series, and that's the Chronicles of Narnia. Yeah, that series kind of got me into reading quite a bit. I read a little bit before that series, but then when I picked that series up, I started reading a lot more like books, and instead of just like graphic novels, because I was obsessed with Calvin and Hobbes when I was a kid, and I read those a lot. So yeah, Chronicles Narnia. What's the worst book you ever read? This one was actually submitted to my blog, and I feel bad for saying this because this is like the only book I've given a 1 star, but it's called Rarity of the Century. I really did not like this book, and it didn't sit well with me. And I'm sorry that happened, but that has been the worst book up to date that I have read. So yeah. Is there a genre you wish you enjoyed but just can't seem to get into? Like I already said earlier, historical fiction. Funniest book you ever read? I don't read a lot of humorous books, but I would probably say The Martian, just because there were many times during this book that it cracked me up when I was reading it. I thought the main character was hilarious despite the situation he was in, and I thought that was a really fun part of the book. Not book related, but what is your favorite TV show and what are you currently watching? My favorite TV show, that's a hard one. I have a lot of TV shows that I really enjoy. I think my favorite is probably that 70s show, and I have it all on DVD. I really enjoy that show. I also really enjoyed Smallville back in the day. And then what I'm currently watching is, I think we just got on to season 3, but Marcus and I are powering our way through Naruto and enjoying that. So yeah, that's fun. Do you have any other hobbies aside from reading? I am very passionate about volleyball. I love the sport, and anytime I get the chance to play it, I am there. It's probably one of my favorite things to do aside from reading. I also really like playing board games. We have a bookshelf and a half full of board games in our basement, and we just love playing board games. We have lots of board game nights with our friends. They're just a fun time. I love board games. And then also eating. I'm a avid snacker, and I always will be constantly eating something, so I like food. Your all-time favorite book? It is right there. Red Rising. This bad boy right here is my all-time favorite book. What fantasy world would you live in? I think it'd be really cool to live in the Star Wars world, because lightsabers are badass, and it's also kind of sci-fi, so that's right up my alley. And there would be so many different planets to explore, and I think that'd be so cool. So yeah, I'm gonna say Star Wars. What do you do for a living? Web developer. Have you ever had a crush on a character from a book, and who was it? So I don't generally get crushes on characters from books, but I will do this the bisexual version. So if I chose a girl, it would be Nora from Red, White, and Royal Blue. And if it was a guy, it would be Finnick from The Hunger Games. I've realized I'm doing a lot of swishing with the pen, and I'm just gonna keep that in here because, it's the energy I'm giving off right now. I'm assuming this question is supposed to say, how did you discover Booktube? And the way I discovered Booktube was actually through Marcus. I discovered it when he was watching Reagan from Peru's Project, and thought it was really cool that she was on YouTube just literally talking about the book she's reading. And she does a lot of reading vlogs, so it's her life too at the same time. And I just thought that was so cool. And that kind of was how I discovered Booktube, and then did my own research and found other Booktubers. And yeah, so thank you, Marcus, for introducing me to this whole world. What's the very first book you read? Like I said earlier, Magic Treehouse. And then book you hated that everyone loved, which I'm gonna say All the Light You Cannot See Again, because I think a lot of people liked that and I just did not. Favorite book cover you own? We Are Okay. I just think this cover is absolutely stunning, and I really, really like it. Favorite book cover I don't own yet? There's so many. I don't even know which one to choose, but there's a lot out there. Okay, now on to the questions that were submitted through Twitter. Do you have any auto-buy authors? If so, tell us who. So obviously Pierce Brown, because he's my favorite author. And then I would also say Blake Crouch. Even though I've only read 2 of his books, I really, really liked them. So yeah, he would be my other auto-buy author. Has there ever been a TV or film that is better than the book in your opinion? Percy Jackson. Just kidding. Honestly, I can't really think of any because the book is always better to me. And I don't think there's any. I feel like it's also because like when I'm reading the book, I can picture it how I want it to be and not how they portray it when they do like the filming of it. So personally, I like the books better. I don't know. I had a really hard time with this one thinking anything up, and yeah, I don't really think I can. And then Kirk, Picard, or Janeway. I'm gonna choose Picard. If you could ask your favorite author one question, what would it be? I think my question would be, when was that time, or not time necessarily, but what was the one spark that kind of ignited your passion for what you do? Or is there a big backstory to how you have gotten to where you are now? In a post-apocalyptic world, what kind of character would you be? Like the one who fights, or knows how to find food, or is really prepared, etc.? I don't think I would be any of those. I feel like, I don't want to say I'd be useless, but like, I'd be good if I need to like lift somebody up to a high position or something like that. But like, I don't really know. All I do is read. What's that gonna do if we're in a post-apocalyptic world? I'm sure I would pick up things as I go, but like as of right now, I don't really know what I would be useful for, because I don't know if web development really helps in a post-apocalyptic world. Yeah, I don't know. It also depends what kind too. Like if we're dealing with zombies, I'm screwed. I mean, I can run, but like only for short distances, because like I'm not fit. Like I just read all the time, so I don't exercise that much, and I can't now with COVID. I did have volleyball that I exercised, but now I can't do that either. So yeah. What is your favorite book of a genre you don't normally love? So I don't read that many memoirs, but I would choose The Glass Castle. I just found this book to be fascinating, learning about her life as she grew up, and I just thought it was really cool. I don't really, like I said, I don't read these very often, so I don't really have much to base it off of, but I did really enjoy this one. If you could have one superpower, what would you want and why? So I would choose the power of teleportation, and the reasoning behind that is because that way I can get anywhere instantly, I would not be late for anything, and I could literally travel the world at the snap of my fingers. And I think that is so cool because like I already want to travel the world, so being able to get there without having to sit on a stuffy plane would just be fantastic. Also, it gets you out of situations. So say for example, you're about to get eaten by a shark. Snap your fingers, boom, you're not going to get eaten. Which fictional character do you identify with most? This is a hard one. Like, I think physically I identify with Levi from Fangirl because like we kind of look the same, but then he's also like a farm boy and I'm not. Mentally, I would say I'm more of probably like Newt from the Maze Runner series. But yeah, that was me kind of piecing together multiple ones because I don't really feel like I am the same as some characters that I read. I don't know. I haven't found one that I like feel like I am exactly that character. So yeah, that's what I would put together. If you had to pick a book as a random gift for somebody, what would you pick and why? It depends on the person, but most likely I would get them Red Rising so that they can share in my love for the book and I could talk to another person about it and just be super excited in general that somebody else is reading this series. So yeah, that's probably what I would get them. Favorite movie or TV show based on a book? I would have to choose The Lord of the Rings for this one. Now, I haven't read the books, but I really, really enjoyed the movies. And like, I remember when the third movie came out in theater and I went to see it on a Thursday, and that was a movie that went almost till midnight, which was a big thing for me because I was young at that time. And so that was like super exciting, and I will always remember that. Also, there's a giant spider in that movie, which freaked the hell out of me because I hate spiders. So yeah. But I think that series was really well done in movie format, and I love those movies. What seems to be a lesser known book on Booktube that you think deserves a lot more hype? That is I'm Thinking of Ending Things by Ian Reid. I've only read two of this author's books. This is one of them, and then the other one I think is called Foe. This was the first one I read, and I really, really enjoyed it. It's not a big book, but it's a psychological thriller, and I had no idea that the ending was coming. And so the way this book, like the whole thing and how it played out was just incredible in my opinion, because like I didn't expect any of it. And I'm pretty sure I read this in almost one sitting. I read it on a plane and almost finished the whole book on the plane. So that tells you it was a good book. Who are 3 authors, dead or alive, that you would invite to your Mad Hatter tea party? This is such a unique question and I love it. Definitely Pierce Brown. I feel like I'm just recycling the same answer over and over again, but like you guys don't understand. Like I really like his writing, and I would like to know more about Pierce Brown and where he comes up with these ideas for his books. So yeah, definitely Pierce Brown. Probably Blake Crouch. And I think the other one, it's a tie. It would be either, it's a 3-way tie between Brandon Sanderson, Jay Kristoff, and Holly Black. One of those authors I would love to have at the Mad Hatter Tea Party, so I could just like pick their brains about where they come up with these awesome characters and where they come up with these story plots. I just think it'd be so fun. What would you do with $1 million? Well, I mean, we just bought a house, so I don't necessarily need a bigger house, but maybe expand a room onto the house for a giant library. Right now we have a whole wall of books, but like, can you imagine a whole room of just, you walk in and books are everywhere? I think that'd be amazing. And definitely put like a cool reading nook in there too. I honestly would probably save a lot of it, because if you have that much money in an account, the interest that you're gonna get on it is probably a lot. So saving it would be good too. And I would definitely go on a little vacation or two. I mean, I can't really do that right now with COVID, but once that's over, I would go on a little vacation or two. I would finally get to Australia because it's been my dream to go there, and I've always wanted to visit Australia, so it would be the perfect time to do it if I had $1 million. What fictional character do you think you could be best friends with in real life? I would honestly say Finnick. I think we would be really good friends. He comes from like the fishing district, and he's really like a water person, and I was a lifeguard growing up, so I think like we would connect in that aspect, and he just is a really cool guy, so I think we'd be awesome friends. What is the first book you remember reading for enjoyment? Magic Treehouse. If your house was burning and you could only save 3 books before escaping, which would they be? Well, got them. I feel like this is self-explanatory, and like you guys are just getting this a lot for this whole Q&A. I mean, there's a reason this book is the one I'm holding in my profile picture. What book would you like to see adapted to movie or film, and which one do you wish didn't exist? I think, I don't want to say Red Rising again, guys. I'm so sorry. But I know that that one's potentially going to be, or it's in the works of being adapted into a TV show. So I'm really excited for that. The one I wish wasn't was probably, I was going to say Percy Jackson, but I remembered another one, and that is Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. I just really didn't like that series, and I didn't really like the movie either. So yeah. Which of your videos was the most fun to make? I really enjoyed the most recent ones that we did where I chose Marcus's TBR and he chose my TBR. I thought those were really fun. I also really enjoyed the first sentence challenge that I did with my friend Liz. because I did better than I thought I was gonna do, and it was just really fun to film with her because like she just kept grabbing books that she knew nothing about and just went along with it and was such a good spirit about it. So I really enjoyed doing that video. What are your favorite books written by Black, Indigenous, or people of color authors? I really enjoyed Everything, and The Sun is Also a Star by Nicola Yoon, and I'm currently reading Slay by Brittany Morris, and let me tell you, I'm not done it yet, but that book is fantastic. Which books do you want to see adapted into movies or series? I've already said Red Rising too many times, so this time I'm going to choose the Cruel Prince series by Holly Black. I think that series would be really interesting to see in a visual format, and I think it'd be really fun to follow along with all the political intrigue that is in that series. What challenges do you think were the hardest to overcome, and what is the best part about having a booktube channel? I think the weirdest part for me was just getting used to filming, because I'm speaking in front of a camera in an empty room, and I have to get used to my own voice, which I'm not a big fan of. So yeah, it was a little interesting for me to like get into the routine of filming, but once I got it down, it's not bad. Like I'm totally used to it now, and it's kind of funny when I get other people to film with me because like I'm so used to speaking in front of the phone and they're all like awkward or nervous, and I'm like, oh okay, well I'm past this, let's get going. So I think that's kind of funny. And the best part about BookTube is definitely the community. I'm so thankful for all of you guys, because you guys make this awesome for me. To see the interaction on the videos that I put out and to just speak to a lot of other book lovers about books, it's just so awesome that we can share this passion, and I really am thankful for this community. What are your perfect reading conditions? I love to read by a window with a hot drink, and if it's raining outside and you can hear raining like on a tin roof or something, that is my absolute favorite. Second, I would love to be lying in a hammock with an ice cold lemonade with a couple raspberries in there and just reading a book in a shaded spot where you get a little bit of sunlight but not enough to get burnt. And third, because I have a lot of ideal reading spots, would be on the beach. Last one, if you weren't a book blogger or booktuber, what other topics would you talk about on your channel? I think if I wasn't doing books, it would totally be about board games. Like I said before, like I love to play board games, so I would do like tutorials of games and like playthroughs of games. I know Will Wheaton has a series on his channel where he like plays games with other celebrities and they just like have a great time, and I think that'd be so fun to do something like that. So that's probably what I would do. I don't think there's really anything else that I would do a channel about. Maybe travel vlogs. If I got to like get out and travel more, I would do a lot more of those, because I do like capturing like in the moment where I am. So I think that'd be a fun thing to do as well, but it would probably be board games. And that's it for my Q&A. Thank you so much to everybody that helped me get to 1,500 subscribers. I'm up to 1,700 now, and it just keeps going up, and I'm so happy and thankful for all you guys that are helping me reach these goals. My goal for the whole year was to get to 1,000 subscribers, and now I'm at 1,700, and like that's insane. Like I can't even imagine. I didn't imagine at the beginning of the year that I would be in this spot. So I'm so thankful to all of you guys that have helped me get to this point. And yeah, now I'm setting new goals to like hopefully get monetized. Fingers crossed. We'll see what happens. But yeah, I just wanted to say thank you so much to all of you, and I want you all to know that I really appreciate you and am very happy that you guys are watching my videos, because I never thought anybody would want to watch my videos of me talking about books, and I just was doing it for fun, but now people are actually watching, and I'm super grateful. If you want to support me in any way, I have a Patreon, which is down in the description, as well as a Ko-fi page, so you can go check those out. You know the drill. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I post videos every Monday and Thursday. And until next time, keep on reading.